Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Antra presenting to you our Sunday live discussion session with special guests. Our entire this month of August, we are super excited to celebrate the art of storytelling with five best-selling authors. We have already announced the lineup for this month, and if you visit our Instagram feed or our Facebook profile, then you will be able to see that we have shared all the details about our Sunday sessions, all the authors that we'll be talking about every Sunday right here. We will also keep sharing more details about each individual guest as we get closer to the date. So, yes, be there, and yes, somebody is saying kudos to your team, great job, keep rocking, thank you. Slade Balapam, I know who you are, so thank you for your support, and keep coming back every Sunday. Today's guest is, before I introduce today's guest, today is Friendship Day, so I want to wish all my friends a happy Friendship Day, and I hope that you guys are having a lovely Sunday. Now, back to our session today. Our guest is a very talented personality. She is not only an author, she is an entrepreneur. She is a mindfulness and emotional well-being coach. So we are going to know more about these terms. What does a mindfulness coach do, or a mindfulness counselor do? So we'll discuss all these things. And she's also a certified practitioner of Kriya Yoga and meditation. So she conducts workshops where she teaches, or she practices yoga with other people who joins the workshop. So we will discuss all about this, and she is none other than Preeti Pathak, the author of two very successful books, Enrich Life and 25 Essentials to Happy Living. So without wasting further time, I'm going to request Preeti to join me today now. And yes, Monica Bharti, happy Friendship Day. Thank you. And if you have any questions regarding mindfulness and emotional well-being, don't hesitate to share with Preeti. She is going to answer it. Hi, Preeti.
Hi. Thank you very much, Antara, for having me on your secret bookshelf exclusive live sessions that you conduct every Sunday. And it truly is a pleasure and heartwarming to be on this platform and share with you my experiences of my life journey, my work, and be able to help as many people. I'm happy to do that. Thank you so much.
And I, yes, and I also want to thank you because it was a very short notice session. We decided that we'll have the session today, and you have a packed, like all the workshops, all the counseling, and you said that yes, let me figure out, let me schedule, and then we, like, very quickly this happened. So I really want to thank you to take out the time to join me today,
Thank you so
and
much.
happy
Anytime,
Friendship
Antara.
Day.
Happy Friendship
Happy
Day to you
Friendship
too.
Day.
And happy Friendship Day to all our viewers here. A big hug to each one of them personally. A virtual hug, I must say.
Yes, and like I'm really happy. I think the kind of relationship that we have developed, we have been associated with for a very long time, almost, I would say, more than 6 months almost. And even like we have almost become friends. And I have started regarding you as one of my sisters, my older sisters. And like we started, our phone calls used to be related to work, but then we started connecting personally. And every time I talk to you, it's such a relief. And I could feel, and I have been telling you that let's do this workshop, and you said that I have already lined up and I'll come back to you and everything. So I'm so glad that we finally are doing this. um, and yes, so I want to know more about I know your life, like a brief about your life story, that you were initially working in a corporate company for almost more than a decade, and then you took a sabbatical, and then you started with your entrepreneur journey and your journey towards mindfulness. But I want to know, what was that one thing that made you feel or made you realize that yes, this is my calling, this is where I want to go ahead, this is what I want to pursue and share with the rest of the world?
Sure, sure. So, Antara, I must say it's been a very fruitful journey that I've had from being a corporate person, being a marketing professional, to completely becoming a homemaker, and then finding my true calling, which is the work that I'm doing now as an entrepreneur. So I worked for almost 12 years in the corporate industry. As a marketing professional, I worked with the television media. I worked with the entertainment industry, and further going into consumer durable products. Then when I got into the path of, I wouldn't say path, but into the phase of my life where each one of us goes, okay, it's family. I chose not to compromise on my family life, not to compromise on my child's upbringing, because I believe those a child needs the most. And as an individual, as a mother, I evolved more, probably I would say, than my daughter and my husband and my family alone. So that journey, the metamorphosis, it took me to a point. And, in the beginning, I had given an intention when my child was just born that now I'm taking a break. But when my child is 17 years old, I'll probably start something of my own, and I'm going to do some work of my own. And as the as we progress in our life, and I realized at one point, you have it all. You are living a comfortable life, you're settled, you're established, you have your relationships built, and you're in a rhythm, and you feel, okay, I've arrived in life, my family's arrived in life. But now what next? So what next was the curious part that kept on, the bug inside me that kept on nudging me and pushing me, Preeti, what are you going to do now? What do you want to do? So, okay, let's get back to the corporate life, because that's where you come from, and, you're the best at that work.
Right,
So,
right.
so I kept on, I must say, I kept on applying to corporates. I would go for interviews, but something within me would feel, do I really want to go here? And that validation would get, regarded as, because I wouldn't get through any of those, interviews that I would go and come from. For some reason or the other, it just wouldn't click. And I reached a point and I felt, okay, so there are two ways of looking at situation. One where the logic says, oh no, I want something and I'm going to put all my force and all my energy and I have to get a job. Second, you follow your intuition. I was at a, at a seesaw where I was balancing between my intuition and my logic. And I was like, logically, this
And
seems
your
right.
work.
Yeah, yeah. So then I said, okay, this is not happening. And probably my inner calling is not this what I'm supposed to do. Then in 2013, I would say, in 2012 rather, 2013 is when I took my Kriya Yoga initiation. I ventured on the
Okay.
path of self-realization, and I connected with myself much more than what I had already connected being a homemaker. So what happens is we have a set way of looking at things. We want everything black and white. We never have the time to look into the gray areas or even connect with ourselves, because हम वो सब कारपेट के नीचे डाल देते हैं. हम चाहते नहीं, टारगेट है इतना अर्न करना है, टारगेट है ये चाहिए, टारगेट है ऐसे जाना है. तो उस रोड से मैं थोड़ी हटके साइड में बैठी और मैंने सोचा मैंने अब थोड़ा एक इंट्रोस्पेक्शन अवेयरनेस एक्सरसाइज खुद के साथ करना होगा. एंड दैट इज व्हेन I connected to a different Preeti altogether, and it took me on the journey of setting up my. I started writing, and first book which I wrote was 25 Essentials to Happy Living. Now, 25 Essentials to Happy Living was born out of the sheer realization, oh my God, there is so much within me. There is so much each one of us has within us, but we blame the situation, we blame the people, we blame God, we blame fate. But hello, look at your own self. And that's when I listed out basic, simple things for myself. And it would have been rather selfish not to share it out with people. So that urge and that drive, that I want to bring this out to people to read and, enhance their life, enrich their life, and be happy, is when 25 Essentials to Happy Living took birth. And my journey as an entrepreneur, as an author, started. And I got deeper into
Started.
the learnings. Yeah.
So I thank you so much for sharing this your life journey. What when you were saying about the self retrospection, I just something just came to me. I'm not sure if I should I wait till we start talking about your books, or should I say it now? But I
Please
think
go ahead.
I would like to share it now. I have read 25 Essentials of Happy Living, and I must before what two things that really got into me, that I have imbibed from that book. There was a time, I think, when even I was working, and I had a good package and everything was going well, but then suddenly something happened and I was like, okay, no more. Like, I'm not, like, this is too much happening, too much of complication. I need to figure out what there was something missing. The kind of thing that you might have also experienced, something missing out. Like, I'm working, I'm doing day in and day out job, but then I needed to figure out what I'm actually looking for, who I am. And I gave up my, like, overnight. I usually don't do this, but then I just uh, quit my job, which was very well positioned job. But then I just quit, and then I would just walk around. I just started visiting, going to some secluded places. I would spend time with myself, and finally I realized who I am. And when I was going through your book, and I was like, I came to that point when you have listed in the book that these are the things that we need to figure out. We need to reminiscence that who you are, what you are looking for. So those points were very important, I think. Even before the book chose me, your book chose me, I think I was already struggling with this question.
Okay.
And this is I think this is a journey that I need to pursue. Like, it will not happen overnight, but then I need to keep on doing this exercise, need to keep on thinking that what I really want out of my life. Um, and then the second thing that I really that stuck with me was the part where the chapter on self forgiveness, which is, I think, very important for people to understand. I think everything can be done, everything is doable, but self forgiveness is the most hardest thing. And I think I'm not sure how many people will be like my friends who are watching us right now. I'm not sure how many will be able to relate to this, but who has gone through the uh, phases in their life, they will be able to understand how important these chapters are, and how important it is to understand that they are not alone. We are not alone. There are many other people who are also experiencing similar things, and this is the exercise, or this is how we can come out of it. So I really
I just like to
connected.
add. I, sorry, I'd just like to add something
Yes, yes,
because
please
you
go
were
ahead.
sharing your personal experience, and there's one thing I would like to share is yes, it is a journey, where the myths and the understanding is that the ultimate thing we will get towards the goal, towards the last lap of our run, that's not true. What you want, you get into the journey, through the journey that you're traveling.
Journey.
A. B,
Okay.
second, where we look at the challenges that we faced, or you mentioned about forgiveness, or any limited issues. It is looked at as a very negative experience. It is looked at as a negative connotation. But if we change our mindset and we say that this experience or this thought that is coming in my mind is basically taking me one step closer to evolve as a better human being. The moment we change our perspective of looking at the situation or the problem dissolves. Basically, they come to make us more strong, and they come to help
Right.
us transcend that limitation. So that helps us just take a glide then in life, and we'll always come across these obstacles, we'll always come across happy moments, but it's the attitude that matters the most, and the state of mind.
Absolutely. So everything happens for the best reason. And I
Absolutely.
always believe in this saying that everything
Absolutely.
happens for the best reason and there are better things in store. So, yes, absolutely. The attitude always matters. So, since we have
Correct.
already started talking about the book, your best selling books, um, I think we will go more into them. My secret bookshelf has listed, like, I'm supposed to list both the books, but I have listed only 25 essentials to happy living right now.
Yeah, the other one, I
And
think it all got delayed because of the lockdown, and things just got stalled for some time, but
yes,
we'll get back into that.
yes. Right. So I'll do that. That is on my to-do list. So I'm going to list that book pretty soon. But
Okay.
I would like to know more about it. I would also I understand that you are a disciple of Sri Yogananda Paramhansa
Paramahansa
Yogananda, if
Yogananda.
I
Yes,
pronounce.
Paramahansa
Yeah.
Yogananda. Huh.
So is are these books based on his teachings? Have you followed any of his teachings, or it's mostly your experiences or your findings? So I would like to know more about that.
Um, it's a combination of both, I would say, because I found my guru, I found myself. So when I found myself, that is the journey of self-realization. Did I realize that there are so many layers of emotions and attitudes and behaviors which make me, and I have given the power to all these emotions, all these attitudes, so called attitudes of being judgmental on people, or getting jealous about situations or people, or criticizing for what is not there rather than being happy for what is. That
Is there right?
that is something very common we all have. So, 25 essentials to happy living, like I mentioned, yes, I started identifying every time I had a reaction. So one side I was, learning the philosophy, I was practicing yoga, I was practicing meditation. So I am calming my energies, I am calming my thoughts. The other side, when I'm out in interaction with people, my family, friends, or even acquaintances, something would just trigger me off. And that's when I would introspect. Why did I get triggered? I am doing meditation. What is it in me is that is reacting? What is in me that did not like which is being spoken about here? So is that person who is saying something not correct, or is it me who's reacting in a manner not correct? So this actually, I would say, has been personal realizations, personal understandings, observations around, and I also take coaching and counseling sessions. So,
Right.
that itself gets me closer to understand human behaviors and how to help them. So, like I mentioned earlier, the whole idea to create and compile things together in a very simple, lucid manner for every reader to understand that these are basic 25 things we need to be mindful about. We need to be aware and accept them. It's only when we accept them, Antara, can we overcome that problem. So, one of the chapter in the book is ego in 25 Essentials. And we all have that. Well, ego is
Right.
associated with our identity, who I am, what I like, what I don't. But the other extreme aspect of ego is arrogance, aggressiveness, either my way or highway, or because I said it has to be done, that authoritativeness. So that ego grips us tight and does not allow us to connect with ourselves as well as the work that we do and the people around us. So, yes, it has been a journey of experiences of the self, of people, and that has brought the baby out. I hope I've answered your
And
question.
yes, absolutely. And I would also want to say that it this book is something that you need to reread, like keep going back to it. It cannot be कि मैंने पढ़ लिया बस खत्म. I have understood everything. So this book is something that you need to read once and then maybe imbibe, retrospect, spend time with yourself, let it sink, and then go back to it again to understand what exactly it is trying to say.
Very
It's very
true. Very
important.
true.
It cannot. What I also liked about, like, there are so many self-help books, and there are so many holistic books which are based on holistic or well-beingness. What I really liked about both Enrich Life and 25 Essentials to Happy Living is that it's very crisp and to the point. Like, for example, Enrich Life, it's a 20 days workshop or exercise based on 20 days, and it's designed based on that you have designed it such that a person who is reading it will feel or will see some difference in 20 days.
Yeah,
And that is what I really like, because there is a TAT, there is a turnaround time given to it.
very
Similar to
true.
this, there are only 25 things that we need to be mindful about, or we need essentials that we need to put our thought, our effort into. So what I'm trying to say is that these are not any lengthy theoretic written कि हाँ मैंने लिख दिया बस मेरे पास टाइम था. These are coming from someone who understands what she's talking about, and these books, both the books are very, they have got their bullet points, they have got their time. If you start this, then within this days, this many days, you will see some changes, or this, like the numbers. So that is what has made me come to this. Of course, I have always made it, like I have always said, that these self-help books or books which talk about holistics are like torchlights. They will only help those people who are standing in a dark place inside a tunnel. If you are outside the tunnel or outside in the light, it might, the torchlight might not seem much helpful. So you need to be mindful about that as well, at during what point of time in your life you are picking up this book.
Yes,
So
and further to add to that, not just being in the tunnel. It's not about just being in the tunnel. It's about that awareness. I want to enhance into something better. So just being in the
right,
tunnel and being aware does not help. You need to make conscious, consistent effort to build a better life. So that is where
right.
the acceptance comes. And I'm so glad to hear from you where you said that you connected with the writing and you have liked the simple approach. My whole purpose of putting in words in both the books has been very simple. I want to put it across in a simple language. does not want it to be too philosophical and too theoretical. Simple facts are explained in nuggets and bullets and to do. And yes, like you rightly said, these are the books which are the comeback to go to read again and again. And
Right,
many of the fans have said this is like a bedside book and an essentially
right,
required coffee table book, Preeti, because I read a chapter and the moment I deviate into something, I come back and either I'm referring in Enrich Life. So Enrich Life is a 20-day journey where each chapter
right,
require. So there are 19 chapters. Yes. So it connects you to 19 different aspects of the self, which we kind of put it under the carpet, which we kind of say we take ourselves for granted. And that's where the 20-day magical journey says is that you need to connect by asking introspecting questions. You need to bring that shift within by answering and implementing those answers that you've got and changing the subconscious hardwire, which is, it's something very interesting. I might just deviate a little. There are two things which I learned from my guru is that environment is stronger than the willpower. So how much have you decide, okay, today I'm going to do this. These are my practices. So you decide, okay, for example, I'm going to sit and finish my presentation and I have to give it to my boss X day, X time. Friend calls, okay, let's just meet over a coffee or let's go out tonight. You're going to shelve it. Okay, I'm too tired. You give all possible reasons to not do it at that point, but go out with your friend. And then probably you'll come back and then sit up the night and complete it and have it done. So the point here is not the job, but how the environment pulls you out. So that is one. Second, by default, our subconscious is hardwired in such a manner where the negative or that influence which is actually not going to give you good result in long term, the quality is absorbed very easily. वो कहते हैं ना, मेहनत का रास्ता, सफलता का रास्ता जो ईमानदारी से करेंगे वो बड़े कठिनाइयों से भरा होता है. तुम शॉर्टकट से जाओगे तो वो तुरंत हो जाएगा. तो ये भी वैसा ही है कि तुम नेगेटिव इन्फ्लुएंसेस में आ जाओगे या नेगेटिव लाइकिंग्स पे चले जाओगे. You will have happiness, entertainment, you'll enjoy for few months, maybe years, but then you come to question, now what? So Enrich Life is telling you, don't do that. Start with a gradual process. So take one chapter at a time, read, process, understand, and maybe you can take that chapter for 2 days if you want. You could make 20-day journey to a 40-day journey, but be at it. And these are simple ways of just gliding through to enriching life. So yeah,
So
I'm
coming
glad you
back,
connected.
I'm sorry I cut you in between, but I think a very important question that I wanted to ask you, who should read this Enrich Life and 25 Essentials to Happy? Do you think, who are the right readers for both the books?
I would say everyone from 12 years, 13 years onwards, because I've had kids, school going kids and college kids who've read the book, and I've got messages from them saying that, one of the chapters is what is life, and a 12-year-old kid, you know, marked the para which he connected with, and he said, this is so true, ma'am, and this is so simple to imbibe. We actually complicate our life. It's simple. It's just that we don't think pragmatically, we don't think realistically, we complicate in our own complicated thinkings, the attitude of making insignificant things significant, and we lose focus
Right.
where we actually want to get. So to answer your question, it is for everybody starting 13 years age upwards, for someone who is wanting to get into the practice of mindful living, someone who wants to connect with own emotions, someone who wants to overcome the battle of wavering understanding of own self. So basically, every person who wants to love own self, who want to embrace own self, must read this. And today, to not just in the given scenario, but generally as we are all progressing and evolving, reading mindful books as these is only going to ignite the candle which has been turned off. So essentially, reading requires this.
Great. So that means that young adults who are just starting with their colleges, offices,
Yes,
they are more than welcome to start with this both the book. And both has a different approach. As I had mentioned, Enrich Life talks about a 20 days exercise, and 25 essentials to happy living talks about 25 things to be mindful about and mindful of. Uh, I'm going to share few comments that we have been receiving so far, Preeti. One
okay,
is from Harveen, and he is writing, I have already ordered my book, waiting for my copy. Yes. So
great,
we have not yet
great.
resumed our shipping, and so most probably from tomorrow onwards we'll start that. Somebody is next. Let me just pull out other. So there is Avinash Pandey who is saying a normal person may be in dark and light at various times or points in his life, sometimes a day. Dull phase may last more than few weeks, which is, I think, what we have just talked about. It a person, uh, the phase can be for more than a day, or it can be a particular time during a day even.
It can
So
be
yes,
even
I
longer.
completely
It can be
agree.
even longer. It's just that you have to pull up your mental power, number one. Number two, you have to pull up and understand what is affecting me. Why is it affecting me? How can I overcome this? What must I do? So when we answer these what, where, why, whom, when, you automatically start getting the answers. And then the ultimate answer that you'll get is what you are actually supposed to do to transcend this dull moment or the dark moment. And the faster or the slower speed of coming out of that dark moment will depend on your state of mind, your calmness to handle the situation, and the positive attitude. So, yeah, stay at it,
Right.
and it does help.
And as I had said that these are like we need to go back to this book. It cannot be like ek bari pad liya to khatam. So we need to, like, it has to be, as you mentioned, a bedside uh, guide that we go back to on, like, time basis.
Right.
I'm so eager to know about your entrepreneurial journey of Imperial. Like, I have been hearing a lot about it. I want to know more of how you thought of establishing it, and how, um, what is the services that you are covering under it, and how you go about it. Uh, so tell us more about Imperial.
Sure. So, Antara, as I mentioned, I started off with blogs. The blogs received overwhelming response, and I said, my writing has to go into the book and it has to reach in every possible corner of the world and should be helpful to every person who is not only in the dark but even in the light is still lost and confused. So I have to get the book. So when this strong intention came out, I started moving with my writing. Then the curiosity, okay, people need to know how to bring that, implement that into their life because these are simple practices, these are simple learnings. But again, only with the book, the supporting doesn't happen. And that's when I established
Right.
Imperial. That's when I established Imperial, which talks about an holistic living, which is of the physical body, our mental thoughts, and our emotional state of mind. So basically, bringing in harmony in the body, mind, and soul with the thoughts, with
Okay.
the actions, with the activities that we do. And So now Imperial has become an amalgamation. I conduct workshops, I do one-on-one sessions, I do one-on-one counseling and coaching sessions. Again, people, helping them to connect, take them through their exercises of evolving into a better state of mind. I would say we are all good human beings. We just need to evolve, overcoming the limiting thoughts that always pull us down, break that pattern and help them come down. So this is what I have been doing. One sessions which is based on the philosophy. I would say there is a module that I have developed for wellness, emotional well-being, and it's based on the pillars of bringing awareness, accepting yourself, take an action plan. सब आके बात अटक जाती है, हमने एक्शन डाला नहीं डाला, तो वो नज है, वो पुश है. जब तुम एक्शन में करोगे, when you'll implement, can you then ameliorate, that is enhance your life and see better results in your life, and then each day is like a goal set and a goal achieved. So that is the philosophy and principle that Imperial has been following. And so I have meditation modalities, I take coaching modalities, I follow, I do emotional modalities to help people, release and come out of that state of mind.
So if we are interested to explore more of these workshops, or we need to know more information about these workshops that you conduct, where can we find the information? On your website?
Yeah, so I have my website, which is www.imperial.in. People can also, people write to me, preeti@imperial.in, and my phone numbers always, or any of the social media platforms, is a personal message, and that's how people reach to me. You have been also mentioning about it to do for most of your clients. So yeah, so like these, there are, it just comes. So people connect through mails and social media.
And are these online or on phone? How are you conducting these workshops now?
So presently it is all online. I also do telephonic only, depending on what the need base is. But I prefer doing, yes, the initial ones I prefer doing them face to face, because that always helps in understanding, that helps a good energy exchange and an energy understanding of what the person is going through and what must I do. It is an total observation that goes in. So it's a hand holding that one does.
And I have always seen, this is my personal experience, sometimes people say something, but they might be experiencing something completely different. They might come to you and say that this is what I'm experiencing, but actually when you start digging, you might see that this is something
there is much
different.
More. Right. So, that's very true. So in fact, the module that I follow is again encompassing through the 4 pillars which I said, actually getting deeper into the different emotions, attitudes and behaviors, and connecting people to their own self. So उनको हम सिर्फ hand holding करते हैं, उनको दिखाते हैं क्या है कैसे है, वो खुद ही जवाब, उनको खुद ही वो समझ आता है, and then they embark on it. So it's not the something that I will tell them, ABC, this is what you have to do, like a typical what happens in a counseling session. I work as a facilitator and I help people identify and resolve it. So as I say, resolve to evolve and shine. I tell that to everyone. And that is when the change happens, the metamorphosis process.
Very powerful line that is. So, yes. So thank you so much for sharing all the details.
My pleasure.
I was very eager to find out more information on all the workshops that you conduct. And I'm going to do is I'm going to share your website link on our, like, once this session is over, I'm going to share that on our story,
All right.
so that anyone who is interested, they can reach out to you. If
Certainly.
there is any upcoming workshop that you are conducting, then if you can, like, I'll share those details also
Certainly.
as a story, so that people who are looking to join, they can figure out how, if they are like this, if this is appropriate for them or not.
Yeah, yeah. In
So
fact, this
I'll
lockdown,
do that.
lockdown has been with the lockdown and the pandemic has, I have always looked at the brighter side. I always look at the half glass full than seeing the half glass empty, and it has come with millions of opportunities if we look at it. No, so now पहले हमें लगता था कि oh, I stay in this metro and this is where I can do. While I would also do online sessions that time, but now is a complete migration to be
Right, right.
doing all work on
Online.
online. Yeah, so anywhere,
And
anyhow,
also,
one is accessible.
I think the lockdown has forced us to retrospect and spend time with ourselves and think that what we are actually doing and where we want to go. And people are getting more mindful these days, that I have seen people around me at least, and I'm in touch with. They are more mindful and they are spending time on themselves.
This is
Um,
nature's way of getting people to become aware of their own self, you know. And of course, there has been a stressful time for many in terms of business, in terms of jobs, whole lot of other things. The definition has changed. But I always say that, okay, there is always a plan B. Now, I can't get into the details of till I don't interact with the client to tell, but no, there you have to look into what your potential is, what your talent is, and how can you blossom further, keeping that energy up of profession, but being able to connect with yourself कि मैं actually क्या करना चाहता हूँ, मेरा
right,
प्रोफेशन यही होना है या मुझे अब उसको दूसरे दिशा में ले जाना है, which is going to be, it's not just about earning money anymore, it is about how much are you giving back. So this is where the role
right.
of karma comes, and this is where how nature hits, you know, when people, you know, mass energy, mass thought makes a lot of impact on every person wellness. Before the lockdown, everybody was of course on a great speed, jet speed, but the vibration of greater whatever mass thought has been is going to have an adverse impact on the universe, and somewhere we are coming out of that now. So if we see people are all suddenly talking about mindfulness, people are all
Right.
wanting to connect with coaches, people are taking therapy, क्योंकि डर बैठा है, वो डर को काट के जड़ से निकालो, डरने की कोई बात नहीं है, बस खुद को समझो और बहुत प्यार करो, खुद को भी आसपास के लोगों को भी, and that is where it's going to come out. It's not always about money. Money comes by the virtue of the relations you build and the hard work that you do, and which is what is important.
And eventually, when we leave this earth, we are not going to take anything but only the love that we received. So,
Absolutely.
I yes, their bookworm, she has shared something uh,
Mm-hmm.
with you. She's asking something.
Yes.
Ma'am, what do you think about expectations, especially in personal relationships? How will mindfulness help in dealing with disappointment? Oh, boyfriend problem.
तो पहले आप ये समझो खुद से कितनी एक्सपेक्टेशन है, rather than giving other person so much of importance. I agree, we all have that. गाड़ी वहीं पर आके अटक जाती है काफियों की कि expectations है, I have expectations, I am doing so much, I ought to get this in return. But the key fundamental is to be unconditional. You do for others because you wish to do. You do for others because that makes you happy in doing for them. Today you're fond of cooking and you're fond of making dishes. So look at it that it is therapeutic for you. You enjoy to bring that morsel in people's mouth or to their stomach. Don't do I am making, so you have to appreciate the food that I am cooking.
Right.
Or even if it's relation related, if it's a couple or it's a girlfriend boyfriend, so you are doing something for your lover, do out of love. So tomorrow, even when he is in the worst of his mood or in an agitated frame of mind, of course, he cannot cross the line and not give you respect. You have to get your respect. But when you are giving, just be forgiving and just keep on giving with lot of love. Be unconditional and it has to come back. It's not possible that it will never come back. पर दूसरों
Yes.
से ज्यादा खुद की
हाँ.
उम्मीदों पर खड़े उतरो, खुद के लिए करो, खुद के लिए खड़े उतरो. Others will automatically follow, because when you're keeping up to your expectations, you're also learning to respect yourself. You're also becoming compassionate for yourself. You're also loving yourself. So when you do all these four basic essentials, nobody cannot not fulfill your expectations.
Your expectations.
Yes.
Also, like when you say unconditional, I don't know when this realization came, but I remember many years ago sharing this snippet with one of my friends, that she was complaining that her boyfriend doesn't say enough I love yous. And I was like, you have a pet dog, and you know that the dog loves you, because the way he behaves around you, or the way he looks at you, he never says, I love you, but you know that he loves you. So why this expectation from a human being? Why don't you understand it from your boyfriend's maybe gestures, or how his body language, or how he makes you feel? Why is it so important to hear it from his mouth?
So,
And
so, so I'll just add little here. The
sure,
whole
sure.
mindset that we have, no, we love ourselves only if others love us. We will dress up. A girl or a guy will typically love to dress and be at the best because wants appreciation or what do you say, compliments from people, especially the boyfriend or the
The
husband.
validations,
The
right,
validations, yeah, that's the word,
right.
validations. But do you really need that validation? Aren't you then restricting your own freedom? Where we are talking of be the eagle, open your wings, flap it any hesitation. You are restricting and binding yourself by validations coming from people. So do not wait for these validations. Like I said, when you will love yourself, the other will automatically start saying that. And it is very human. I mean, I will not negate the fact that you don't want to be loved. You do not want to be appreciated. You do not want to be hugged and told, I love you very much. You're the apple of my eye. I can get you moons and stars. We all obviously want that. But somewhere if you connect with the calmness, now that's where the sessions and the modalities of meditation and spirituality that I take is like connecting with your own self, calming yourself. Why am I looking for outside? Why I not look for it within me? That's the whole
Exactly.
point.
Yes,
Sorry, I
absolutely.
took your little more time and I went
No, no,
little
no, no,
reeling
no,
on
no.
it. I'm that sorry.
So these discussions, I really look forward to these discussions, and I really like talking to you, because I get so much of insight.
Thank you so
And
much.
there is one more, one of my friends. She is the night reader .28. She is
Okay.
also saying that I also agree with action. I think she is meaning to say, when you said that after reading we need to practice as well.
Yes.
We need to put
Yes.
everything in action. I think this is where she is saying that I also agree with action.
Uh,
And okay, so I think with this, I have one last question. And I'm really looking forward to know, what are you working right now, and what are your future projects or any assignments that you are working on?
so multiple things happening, and I'm very excited and charged about it, and I very much look forward to each day with each work that I am doing, because I put my heart in it and it has to ultimately get out to people. But the current one, like I said, I'm working on is my mindfulness project that is being developed in a form of a book, and it should be out soon. I am working on it also as a curriculum for institutions, because catch them young and watch them grow is the philosophy that I want to practice here, essentially because the root, I wouldn't say a problem or an issue, but the root concern is knowing the emotions. Know yourself, know the emotions. Once you understand your emotions, your feelings, your attitude and outlook towards every situation, towards your own life enhances. And that is what will take the kids also glide up and be
Right.
successful entrepreneurs or business people. So it is
And I
something.
think, I'm sorry I'm cutting you in between, but I think that is the most important time. The adolescence is the most important time uh, when a
Yes.
guide or a mentor is required, because the kids are going through so many changes, not only mentally but also physically, all the hormonal changes, and there
And
are
there's
so
the
many
biggest, and
experiences,
yeah, and
emotions.
there is a biggest clash within them is the internal environment and the outer environment. Internal environment
Right,
is
right,
they
true.
observe something, so their perception and understanding would not have been essentially correct, पर वो एक imprint हो जाता है. And the idea is to
Right.
help them enhance and come out of that, and the influence
Yes.
of the community, society, friends, family. So yes, like you
Yes,
rightly said,
absolutely.
it is essential. So these are my projects that I'm working on, and of course, besides coaching and interacting with
Okay.
one-on-one sessions and doing group workshops.
So, by when can we expect this new book to be launched? Like towards the end of this year, or maybe in a couple of months, or in
Uh,
2021?
it's both the same. End of this year or couple of months. We are already in the 8th month now, Antara.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, hoping it would be too early for me to comment on anything. But yes, so the moment it's all done, trust me, you will know it, and we will be sharing it out with everybody. But working on it big time fast. I
Yes,
wouldn't want to
great.
commit
So,
and then not be able to hold on to that.
yeah,
So there are
right.
logistics issues involved. Yeah,
And like looking into the scenarios, like there is so
absolutely,
much of
absolutely.
like, so let's wait and see. We have only 8 minutes left, because the session only lasts for 60 minutes, and we
Okay.
have completed 52 minutes. So quickly, I
Oh
will
wow.
say that it didn't, like, we didn't even realize that we have spoken for 1 hour.
We've
So this
spoken
is
for an hour, and I remember you saying, Preeti, we are going to be like just keeping it for a short time because
20,
people.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I truly, sincerely hope people have liked it. They have enjoyed it, and I was able, through my conversation with you, have been able to help them in every possible way that I could.
I'm so sure that I'm going to get so many DMs regarding asking for so many questions, and I will start sharing those with you. They would be
Certainly.
asking me questions on workshops. I'm so sure about it. So I will come back to you on that.
All
But
right.
quickly, I want to wrap up saying that 25 Essentials to Happy Living is available on our online bookstore, which is www.mysecretbookshelf.co.in, and Preeti is sending out personalized notes to each buyers also. So this is your chance to grab your copy of 25 Essentials to Happy Living. And soon we are also going to list the other book, Enrich Life, and I'll keep sharing more details about it as we go about it. But for today's session, I think this is it. And I want to thank Preeti once again for
Thank
taking
you
out
so
your
much.
time and joining me. It
Thank you.
has been such a great time discussing, talking to you, all those things. And like, I'm sure, like, if we meet ever in person, there, like, we will spend so many hours talking.
So,
Because that's
Antara, I
so,
must say the feeling is so truly, sincerely mutual because it's just a good flow of energy that we have, and I'm always happy to be talking and sharing with you. So, thank you
thank
so
you so
much
much.
for having me on your platform, and I hope I've been able to help all and happy to reach out and connect with each one, whoever write to you personally, and I'll speak to them then.
Yes, thank you so much. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a
Take care.
lovely Sunday.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks for having me over. Bye.